Number one, Netflix hasn't expressed any such interest, although we've discussed other stuff. Number two, Zach hasn't expressed any interest and seems to be happy doing what he's doing. And yes, we too have talked. So they're passing that around saying that, oh yeah, this aged like fucking milk. And I'm going, he's talking about your hashtag. He's not talking about the Netflix buying out Warner Brothers. He's talking about the hashtag. Wait, what? Let's talk about Netflix and Warner Brothers. And I will say this, folks. I got sources. Sources tell me that you know what the final nail in the coffin was when it came to this buyout happening? You know what it was? It was the Sell the Snyderverse to Netflix hashtag. That's right, guys. Teddy Serranos and David Zaslav just look at that hashtag and they said, we got to do it. We got to do it for this hashtag, guys. Oh, I joke, but some of these guys actually feel that way. They actually do feel that way. Holy crap, do they feel that way? And yes, when it happened last night, it was like the end of the football game or whatever the hell, and I saw it and went, here we go. And I think I took a shot. I was like, here we go. But I was like, man, Netflix, Warner Brothers, who would have thunk it? But, and then naturally went to sleep, woke up, and, oh yeah, guys. Oh, they saved tweets. My tweets are in some of these guys' spank bank folders. Oh, they are. I don't know if you guys saw this stuff, but I'll bring this up right here. This was being passed around, and this was being sent to me a lot. This is from almost 3 years ago. When I was responding with people. And I kept getting this one sent, or, this one and a couple others sent. And these are from February of 2023. That's right, guys. That's how long they've been holding on to these. I don't know. But I was talking about Netflix doesn't have that money. So that's the main thing that was being thrown at me. You can voice your disappointment without a poorly thought out hashtag campaign. Campaign went from wanting Justice League sequels to a whole crazy slate and AI videos featuring the likeness of Snyder and Gunn. The cringe was real. Yes. And that still has only gotten worse. And there is this. No, there is not. Netflix will not purchase for a number of reasons. Jay even listed some of them there in the thread. There would be a much better chance to get it under the Elseworlds brand within DC Studios I meant in animation. Yeah, we're not speaking on behalf of either. Just looking at the facts, which Jay is providing. Netflix doesn't have this money. They keep canceling shows, and WBD would not want to license out their big IPs. Context. All right. So in 2023, that's what I definitely did say. And if you wanted a little bit more context with like when it came to what Jay Oliva was saying there. So that's what Jay Oliva was saying also during that time and what I was referring to when it comes to that. Because, I think we need to provide the context because obviously the people that are coming at me aren't going to provide the context. That's the biggest factor. Zach has 2 movie series to do with Netflix at the moment. Does he just drop everything and work on characters he doesn't own? You also realize that WB would not let their characters go unsupervised. They will give notes on the script, etc. Just because you license out something doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. Those characters and stories need to be approved by the studio who owns them. I really doubt Warner Brothers will just let another studio do whatever with the poster children of DC Comics. When I saw that, getting that sent to me a lot, and I'm just kind of going like, well, in 2023, basically the word on the digital streets and what I was being told was all the streaming services were having a cash flow problem because of COVID, because they were putting so much money, and Netflix put a shit ton of money into content. So there was a cash flow problem that was happening. That's why we've seen the hike in prices and whatever. So that's what I was hearing. I was like, oh, they don't have the money. They're not going to buy the Snyderverse. Keyword, the Snyderverse. They're not going to buy the Snyderverse. Okay, that's what the context of the tweet actually was. Now, I will say, that was a learning lesson because, when you hear stuff, you shouldn't just like put it out there and be like, oh yeah, they don't have that. Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll say like, oh yeah, I shouldn't have totally worded it like that, where I'm saying Netflix didn't have the money. They probably did. And who cares? They work on debt. These companies, these billion-dollar companies or whatever the hell, they can do whatever the hell they want. They have debt. They don't have debt. They have money. They borrow. They do all this stuff. So yeah, I'll even say that I shouldn't have worded it like that they didn't have the money. Sure, 100%. But my God, I don't know if you guys remember this, but if you want to like see, I brought up this one of the things that was brought, that somebody like was saying all this, and I don't know if you remember, like I pushed back against one of these guys. His name is Hayden, who blocked me, and he said I was bullying him online because I was responding to like he had like a thread of tweets, and I responded to it on Film Junkie Live, and then he of course blocked me and said I was bullying him. Oh my God, I was yeah, apparently I was bullying for just responding naturally. So it was just kind of funny because I posted this because this is the guy who posted this tweet right here, who of course posted those tweets. He's this guy right here that posted right here that said, if you want your kid to get shoved in lockers, the one on the left, talking about these two different statues. If you want your kid to be a varsity quarterback and party with babes, the one on the right. Does he live in a fucking 80s movie? Shoved in lockers, QB partying with babes. Yeah, that guy. Let's read his response right here, because this is where I just kind of go like with these guys and how angry they get for just pushing back. Oh, it's very interesting. Like I said, this was just one of the first things like this morning. Just like what you say in your streams, you're loud and full of shit. I blocked you because the only input you've ever provided to this fan base of lies and negativity and manipulation. That's right, guys. Manipulation and lies. You decided to target me. That's right, target. I targeted him, even though we were having an exchange on one of your streams about a post I made that had nothing to do with you. I don't think that's actually correct, because I was also in a picture with a group of people I had just met for the first time you don't like. Yeah, those guys don't like me. One of them followed me to the bathroom, but I don't need to talk about that again, who are celebrating your loss right now. My loss right now. If you're not going to bother being honest on your streams or not try and manipulate the fandom, then just shut your cock holster and leave us alone. Oh my God. Shut your cock holster. I swear, man, when these guys get angry, they get it. I mean, you saw what, again, going to the Dingleberry at Lethal Geeks, you saw those eyes, man. You saw those eyes. And by the way, that guy also tagged me in something as well. Receipts when it comes to all this. Because, I said that the, Sell the Snyderverse to Netflix hashtag is stupid. And then now he thinks he got me because of what's happening here. I'm like, no, you don't. Because guess what? Your hashtag is still stupid. That's what's so funny about this. The whole campaign for 3.5 years was always Sell the Snyderverse. And me and a bunch of other people always said they would never do that. Even Jay Oliva said that they would never do that. It would have to be either DC in its entirety or a licensing of DC, but then there would be restrictions on that, or the entire company. Now the entire company is happening. And then what did I say like not too long ago when it came to the Lethal Geeks guy? They created a new hashtag that said Sell the Snyder or Sell WB to Netflix. And I was like, oh yeah, there you go. Now you have one that makes sense. How about that? Crazy. You have a sensible one right there. What the fuck? Again, what do I keep on saying? Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. There is no mention of Snyderverse. I made that joke at the beginning. Was that like the final thing? Was like after all the bids and everything that were coming in from Paramount, Universal, all these other, with all the bids, the final thing was, well, we got this hashtag. And I'm not saying that they didn't see the hashtag, because obviously, yes, I'm sure they did see the hashtag. Don't worry. They saw the hashtag. Pump the brakes. I don't know how I had to keep on saying that. I said that about Cosmic Book movie news. And what's happening with that, by the way? Remember the Cosmic Book movie news bullshit that was out there that I called out? All of a sudden, we're not talking about that? We were talking about Zack Snyder, Christopher Nolan, and the Saudis. The Saudis are going to restore the Snyderverse. The Snyderverse. The Saudis. You know, remember when I did that? When that whole bullshit article that they said exclusivo. They said exclusive that was happening. That Zack Snyder, Christopher Nolan, and Saudi Arabia were going to restore the Snyderverse with this whole thing. Are we just going to ignore that now? Because a lot of those guys were passing it around. I don't know about all of them, but they were passing that around. We're just not going to talk about that anymore, right? No. We're not going to. Nope. We weren't talking about that. What are we talking about? They're making it seem like this is 2020 after that Man of Steel stream with Henry Cavill and all the fans where Zack announced the Snyder Cut. We're making it sound like it's that. And I don't know why that's happening. Probably mainly because a lot of these guys weren't around during that time. Again, you know, they call me a grifter, yet they weren't around during the Snyder Cut stuff. And now they're trying to create their own hashtags. They don't want to use the Restore the Snyderverse hashtag because that's not their hashtag. They want to use their hashtags. And this is why they keep on, you know, oh my God, lifting themselves up and everything. And I just say pump the brakes because there is literally no mention of any of that in all of this that's happened today. But it is kind of interesting, I will say this, and I was thinking about this week. And I was going to mention, I was actually going to post a video about all the, you know, some of the Zack Snyder stuff, but obviously with everything that's been happening, I just didn't get around to it. I did find it interesting that, remember how Zack on Instagram did post on last Sunday, to watch Justice is Gray on HBO Max. I was kind of wondering, I was like, is that an indication that Netflix like hit him up and it's like, hey, can you post this right here? Because we want to try to get Warner Brothers and maybe we can get a little extra help. I don't know. It seemed like it was very much a promo that Zack was posting on Sunday to watch it on HBO Max. And it was kind of weird. And I was kind of like, very interesting because, again, you know, his name does trend. His name definitely does trend. But what's interesting about that, though, we still don't know what's going on with Zack Snyder and Netflix. That's what I still worry about. And I'm hoping for the best. Obviously, I'm trying to be optimistic about it, but we just haven't heard anything about Army of the Dead or Rebel Moon. There's that LAPD movie. What's going on with that? And then I see this clip that's going around, of course, you know, of you know who, Grace Randolph. There's a clip of her going around where she's claiming that the relationship between Netflix and Zack is bad because remember Scott Stuber, who brought in Zack? He left. She's claiming he was fired because of things that happened, especially with what they put into like Zack's movies. I don't want to believe this, trust me. And again, it is Grace, but she was saying that. And then I forgot that Dan Lin. Remember Dan Lin? He is now heading the film department. And oh yeah, Dan Lin doesn't really like Zack. Shit. Then I started like going, I was like, oh fuck, I totally forgot that Dan Lin was doing that. Now, with everything that's happening, maybe Dan Lin will step down. I don't know. See, that's the thing. Everything's so up in the air. That's why now I'm just kind of like going, you know, I'm pleading with those guys. Like, yeah, okay. While you're throwing your dung at me, while you're just, you know, doing that, maybe pump the brakes because you just never know what could happen. And there is a lot of concern out there. There is definitely a lot of concern out there from people who work in the industry. I don't know how many times. And that's what's so funny too, because I honestly think these guys think there is a conspiracy out to them with their hashtag and their campaigns. They push back against anybody who pushes back against like what they were like campaigning for. And I honestly think that they think there's conspiracy out there against them. It's like, no, we actually have real world concerns about this merger. Sorry to say, okay, it's not about you. It's about the industry as a whole. There are people that are very worried about this. People who are movie journalists, people in the business. The DGA is raising concerns. The WGA is going to be raising concerns. Hell, and again, I'm also going to be raising concerns. I don't like this one bit. Even politicians have been raising concerns. There's just a whole lot of things. And that's where a lot of us are going because we're wondering about the theatrical windows and releasing in theaters. And Teddy Sarandos is already talking about the consumer is telling us they want to watch shit at home. And I'm going, oh, geez. Sorry, I'm old school. I like going to the movies all the time. I love going to the movies. Okay, apparently, course, the guys that are coming at me, they don't like going to the movies. They are thinking that this is the future. Hell yeah. But in actuality, all they want is Zach to just return and make the movies that they want, which is very fucking weird. Ted Sarandos has already mentioned that. We're worried about the physical media stuff. I don't know. We're worried about all kinds of things. All kinds of things. This tweet also was being passed around too from James Gunn. This was another thing that was being passed around. This is also from almost 3 years ago. I have to say, this has got to be the wackiest hashtag I've ever seen, I guess he meant. Number one, Netflix hasn't expressed any such interest, although we've discussed other stuff. Number two, Zach hasn't expressed any interest and seems to be happy doing what he's doing. And yes, we too have talked. So they're passing that around saying that, oh yeah, this aged like fucking milk. And I'm going, he's talking about your hashtag. He's not talking about the Netflix buying out Warner Brothers. He's talking about the hashtag. Wait, what? You're actually thinking that you think you got him? I mean, they think they got him with that. He was literally talking about the hashtag because there's a lot of people that think, yes, the hashtag is very wacky. And then he was explaining like, yeah, Netflix has no interest in the Snyderverse. And Zach seems very, moving forward of what he's doing, like with Rebel Moon and Army of the Dead, again, almost 3 years ago. And it was just kind of like, oh man, they think they, I was like, but it was kind of funny because it was around the same time with the tweets that they had of mine. And I was like, oh shit, do these guys not know? Did they think, I think some of them actually think these tweets were like recent. Oh shit, that's right, they don't know time. They don't know timelines. They don't know time. That's right, I forget. They don't know time. They think the Snyder Cut came out 1.5 years ago. That's right. Shit. I forget. Fuck. I must remember that. They don't know time because in their bubble and echo chamber, there's no time that exists. No time. No time exists. It's crazy. And I'm sure they're going to, quote and come after me and everything like that again. And if they do it, I still, okay. And if like say the Lethal Geeks guys come out again, okay, you still haven't told me what access I'm going to lose now that it's going to Netflix. Please still clarify that. And the evidence that I'm a Warner Brothers plant. And if I was a Warner Brothers plant, wouldn't I be all for the Netflix buyout? I'm still trying to grasp that reality. Again, I'm trying to think like they do. I don't know. Just don't get angry and just pump the brakes. That's all I just kind of say. It's just like, don't get angry about things when people push back and pump the brakes. Okay. And realize that there are people out there that have real world issues and stop being so conspiratorial when it comes to all this stuff. Like nobody's going against you because, oh yeah, we can't have this happen. We can't have the Snyder people win again. It's like, no, the hashtag is still very much wasn't thought out correctly, And I mean, these are the same guys. I mean, I know like when it comes to the Ski Walker and his fucking guys, they have a conspiracy that I purposefully deactivated my YouTube last year. Remember back in April of last year when YouTube took down my channel on accident and it was like 4 or 5 days before it came back up. Shit like that is happening right now, by the way, because they implemented that AI shit. And apparently the AI shit is not so intelligent when it comes to the I in AI. That shit's kind of happening right now, which is really scary. But yeah, they think that I purposefully took down my channel and mysteriously put it back up because of something with Rebel Moon. Like I didn't want to talk about Rebel Moon because I think they claim I didn't like it. That's an actual thing that these guys are saying about me. Not only am I a Warner Brothers plant or an industry plant or something like that, and I'll lose access, but they have also claiming that I purposefully deactivated my channel last year. And again, I just go, can you please provide the proof if you're going to make these claims? That kind of helps. Just saying, you don't just put on a tinfoil hat and say it. You have to actually back it up. That's the thing. That's the thing. Okay? I'm trying to help you.